GM. There he is.
I woke up late.
Yeah, you and me both. Dragged my ass out of bed at 8 o'clock this morning, which some people consider early, and that's fine. That's a very late for me. Damn, dude, you GMI?
Yeah, what? Yeah, it's gonna make it.
Dickenza here for the coughing health alpha. Yes. Oh man, what?
I don't have COVID. It's just cannabis.
You've had COVID for the last 6 months, apparently.
Yeah. No, I've had COVID for the last 19 years of my life.
Oh yeah, fair enough. I guess I could have put it like that. That would have been a little more apt. Haven't known you for that long, but I don't like making assumptions.
Well,
did you get your latte? That's the most important part.
I got my latte. Yeah, I'm drinking coffee.
There it is. Last night, what did I do? I had a couple beers. I seem to remember something happening. Something about a STARWOLVEZ project or something.
Yes. Minted.
STARWOLVEZ minted. Public mint. Well, yesterday we were on the show, so Elder Mint would have been going live. Hunter Mint went live shortly thereafter. And then the public sale hit. And oh boy, we were on spaces. We were talking to a bunch of people, had about 200 wolves in the audience there. And we were kind of just getting into it. The public sale went live. We were just talking. We were still just hanging out and vibing. And then someone just said, guys, the mint is ripping. And I go look, and there was like almost 900 pending transaction. Boom. Like just, all the tools lit up. Everyone aped in. And here we are. I didn't know what to expect for the public sale. Like, we've been confident this whole time that we were going to mint out. And, one of the dynamics of it was that there was always going to be a public sale. And, so often in the NFT world, people oversubscribe their allow lists and it doesn't make it that far. But we always knew there was going to be one. And it just ripped. It was amazing. Amazing experience.
A sight to behold.
How are you feeling?
I feel good. How are you feeling?
I feel great.
I have my white lemon hoodie on today.
Fuck yeah. Is it the quality as good as I've heard them say?
It really is. The only thing I will say is if you do shop for one of these hoodies, I would almost get a size smaller, if not even 2 sizes smaller, depending on how you wear the fit. These are oversized.
They are, eh? Yeah.
Yep. So
that Canadian sizing, I don't know.
Yeah, you normally wear an XL. I'd get an L and all the way down.
Fair. Comfort is the key in that one.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get myself some more of these.
Fitted, you may even go 2 sizes down. Some people who like the fitted look may even want to go 2 sizes.
My general trend has been going size up, but that's more of just like my diet. Oh, it's funny how that happens, eh? All right, GM guys. Oh, look at all of the familiar, lovely faces: Crypto Cosmo, Sandman, John Kevlar, Mike Track. Congrats on the sale. Thank you so much, Mio, Vintage, Namo Nabis, Ashtray, Chipper. That's Jaguar. I was trying to remember your actual name. Jaguar in there. Chipper, Dickenza, Toon, SBM. Everyone's saying GM and Howl this morning. Bomber. Bada too. I want to let out a howl, but I don't know why. Every morning we have this great routine where my dog just goes and lays on the bed for the better part of an hour and a half while we do the show. And then he hears me get up and it's game on.
Are you saying imitating one of his cousins in Heat get them riled?
Yes. Yeah.
There you go.
I didn't howl though, and he is amped. He's ready to go. I don't know how we fell off the schedule.
That's what I say. In bad do we trust.
Crazy swimmer, mod extraordinaire. What's going on, boys?
Crazy swimmer.
Oh man. So what happened in the NFT world besides StarWolves? I woke up this morning and was trying to recap that. We are going to keep the show somewhat regular. We do have some news we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the crypto market. A lot of people were talking about Los Muertos last night as StarWolves are going down. So we're going to kind of dig into that live and figure that out. A lot of excitement there. Of course, around 2 p.m., our good friend Gary Vee's younger brother burned a bunch of ETH. Miners love him. NFT minters hate him. So that was quite the experience. And then of course, we'll talk some more about StarWolves. I know a lot of you guys are here from there and just been having so much fun with it. What time we got here? 9:51. We were a little bit far behind. As I said, I kind of slept in a little bit, and then we actually hit the go live button on the stream. We waited about 3 minutes, and then I realized that nothing was live on YouTube or Twitch. So, technology compounding the effects. But hey, it wouldn't be a morning show without some kind of technical side effect. On that note, you want to do it? GM Degens, and welcome to episode 106 of the AlphaMint Morning NFT Show. It is April the 6th, a lovely April the 6th. It's getting warm here. I'm very excited. Hopefully there's some sunshine. Get outside, touch grass, as they say, for a brief period of time. But we are, we are going full steam ahead. No days off here, or very few. We try to. I am your host, R2Degen, and joined with me, as always, Mr. Free Market Capitalist.
Hey now.
Free market. Feels like we've been hanging out a lot live lately. And it's been a lot of fun. You've been kind of showing me the ropes in the Twitter Spaces realm, and I gotta say, quite fun. I do enjoy it, especially when Twitter is behaving itself and not rugging you, and then leaving it all on me to try and figure out. You guys were talking about hearts games. I still have no idea what that's about, but we're gonna learn how to do that. Been quite the journey in that sense for me too. But Twitter Spaces, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. I love Twitter Spaces, as you know. Doing them with my Wolf community is so much fun, and yeah, we got more coming today. We ain't slowing down.
Yeah, definitely.
All the way. Let's go.
We want to keep the ball rolling, as we've said from the get-go. Minting out was never the finish line for StarWolves. It was always just, the first step, or maybe you could say Genesis was the first step. It was just one of the rungs on a very long ladder. And it's fun to celebrate. It's fun to take it all in. But there's tons more work to be done. I woke up this morning, Charlie's in a different time zone ahead of us, and he was just right back at it, getting stuff ready for the Discord. I saw NVO posted some more lore that kind of maybe wrapped up this phase of it, and that was a great morning read for myself. And yeah, it is just full steam ahead for us. On that note, let's talk about the crypto market, because last night was also pretty eventful there. Forgot to turn the music off and put the screen on. But yeah, pretty eventful there too. Last night at some point, Bitcoin did start to tumble a little bit. As we wake up this morning, ETH has fallen down below the 3,300 mark. Bitcoin is holding around 44,500, sitting down around 5 and 6% each. All the other crypto is basically following suit. Doge, actually, I was going to say Doge was holding up a little bit better, but even just in the last few minutes, the free market and I were prepping for the show has fallen a little bit more. Doge, of course, having a nice little run with Elon being named to the board of directors for Twitter. We'll touch on that a little bit again as well. What are you seeing in crypto? This looks like, to me, if I just had to take a stab at it, again, consolidation within a range. We made a run at 3,500, broke it briefly, got smacked back down a little bit. And if I pull up the chart, my guess, and I'm having fun doing this because you can correct me if I'm wrong, because you're a million times better at it, would be the next run at 3,500. If it breaks, it could be off to the races.
Oh, I mean, this was literally broadcast on the show. We said markets want to go test the previous support. Previous support is 3,200 to 3,000 area, and we're going to go test that right now. We're already pretty much there. Risk off across all markets. NASDAQ is down 2%. Now, mind you, this is off a very, very low base. Square, as an example, was down to 90 bucks. It got up to 150 as of it. I mean, it's trading like a shit coin practically. And these are some of the largest tech companies in the world. So there's still just a disjointing in markets thanks to the rotation and the inflation news. And now that seems to have been bearing its head again as the news trigger to this pullback. But as we know, if we just remove all the news from it and look at the technicals, we expected 3,500 to contain us anyway. I said we had taken 3 knocks at the door at 3,500 and not been able to get through. That usually means markets want to go back and test support. Here we are. Obviously, markets lose support. We start to reassess what we're thinking. But so far, it's just doing what we thought. So we're just going to let it play out. Not let the news make us think it's more than what we were assuming it's going to be until it shows us that.
That's exactly right. And I'm going to bring up an article that kind of should be pretty bullish for most people. Obviously, it is about Bitcoin, but Bitcoin held on crypto exchanges reaches multi-year lows, according to a report. Over 96,000 Bitcoin are moving off exchanges every month, according to research from Glassnode. Now, 96,000 Bitcoin is obviously a lot considering the current 19 million supply. And then, of course, a lot of that is lost. This is Bitcoin that is no longer technically in circulation. Of course, it could move back into exchanges at any given time, but this is very bullish for supply constraints. And a lot of times when Bitcoin gets a run, we see a secondary run in Ethereum. Lately simultaneously, but in the past it might be staggered by about 2 weeks or a little bit more. And then we see like a tertiary run back down into shit coins. That's obviously, a hindsight looking kind of statement. But typically that's what we see what happens. The important thing to note is that it's increasingly being held in accumulation addresses. And those are addresses that have a very low propensity to actually sell their Bitcoin. So yeah, we could be looking at some major supply constrictions. 100,000 per month is a lot of Bitcoin to be pulled out of the trading ecosystem. And of course, we have ETH 2.0 on the horizon too. So I think a lot of people are holding in ETH, and I think a lot of the same effects are going to happen there.
And I just sent you a link in your DMs because it's something we mentioned yesterday or the day before.
Oh, great. Yes.
I want you to bring this up because this is a chart that many people have seen before. And it's a basic market cycle chart where it shows you exactly how these hype cycles and market cycles occur, whether it's within a particular stock, whether it's within a particular sector, or whether it's the entire market. It always plays out like you're seeing right now. Now, in crypto, the stealth phase was up until 2017, 2020. This was the stealth phase. The awareness phase is when institutional investors take note of something. That was when Paul Tudor Jones bought Bitcoin at 10,000. It crashed to 7 and then went straight to 40 after that. We are now in the first sell-off or bear trap, which you can see happens during the awareness phase, or institutional investors have built their positions, and people who were early in the stealth phase dumped on them once they finally got up there. Now that we've experienced that bear trap, we're about to enter the mania phase. And there are supply shortages, as R2 just pointed out, on exchanges. You have major news coming for ETH with the merge and ETH2. And all the rise we've seen over the last couple of years has been due to banks and hedge funds, okay? You're going to see the public start to adopt crypto. And right now, there's only one reason for the public to adopt crypto, and that is NFTs. There is no other clear reason to use crypto. People don't use Bitcoin anymore. ETH is the crypto that is used. This is what you're going to see now play out. We're about to enter the mania phase And I don't think anyone's ready for what's about to happen. $35,000 ETH.
Yeah, Cutter pointing out that the Facebook, like the meta chart looks exactly like this, and yeah, I mean, it could and should, yeah.
You know, we always talk about zooming out. If you zoom out any chart far enough, you're going to see this pattern. This is, you'd almost say this is the natural order of the universe. This is just how masses of human bodies act in, you know, in our system. This naturally plays out over and over again. It's human nature in a chart.
Well, and I've said this for a long time, having bought into crypto in early 2017, getting through that first initial ETH pump, which was a really incredible time. It kind of did this, but really more along the lines of like that first sell off, and then the markets towards the end of 2017 just went absolutely ballistic, and it was like nothing I've ever seen. And I'm saying that in 2022. And the reason why I'm saying that is that we haven't reached the mania phase that we were in 2017. Now, maybe the market dynamics have changed a little bit. The market has matured. It's grown. The participants are growing fast. Institutional money is coming in. But again, I can safely say that as crazy as things felt like they were getting when ETH was at $5,000 and Bitcoin was approaching $70,000, I never felt that mania phase because it was all we were talking about. It wasn't what everyone was talking about. Like back in 2017, working out in the public and with people and stuff like that, everyone was talking about Bitcoin. What's this Bitcoin? Should I get Bitcoin? Like it was just the talk. You'd go to a bar and that was what people were talking about. You look at meme pages on Instagram and stuff like that, and they were memeing the fuck out of Bitcoin. ETH was having an incredible run at that time too, but it didn't quite have the stature and standings. And obviously, as Free Market just said, NFTs are really pulling that into fruition for ETH as well. And of course, whenever something ends up being worth $5,000, it turns some eyes. But I can safely say that I don't think we ever hit this phase. And that's why, 2021, as incredible as it felt at times, is more like this hump here. I do think that it is going to get nutty. We have broken that 4-year cycle that was like the stock to flow model on Bitcoin that a lot of people believed would held true, but that
real. It was never real to begin with.
It was real in a hindsight looking thing. You build a model based on what you've seen. It doesn't mean that it was actually true. It was just a couple of cycles that seem to kind of mimic each other. I totally get what you're saying. I'm not trying to cut you off, but I mean it's busted now, anyways.
I want people to understand that crypto has been at a very seminal moment. It's still a very niche thing that didn't have a viable use case for most people. Your average person has no idea what Ethereum is. They know what Doge and SHIB is a lot more than they know what Ethereum is. Yet the only clear-cut case for crypto right now is NFTs. The only thing the public is going to care about. And NFTs are single-handedly saving the entire industry of crypto. It's giving it a reason to exist. It's giving it a reason to appeal to the masses. And that's why you're going to see ETH and NFTs go up at the same time, because people need ETH to buy NFTs. And there's just going to be this undercurrent and tailwind of the collector base outgrowing any internal cycles that we're feeling within NFTs.
Yeah, very exciting, and thank you for grabbing that chart for me too, because it is very pertinent, and you can find this on a lot of different charts that you look at for sure. I very briefly touched on it, but we did mention yesterday Elon Musk added to Twitter's board of directors, Doge having a good pump. Again, lots of speculation about the change that he's going to bring in. But having someone that is, in love with Dogecoin, and obviously crypto friendly. The Bitcoin thing around Tesla was a little shocking. I think it was a stance that he was kind of forced into taking. I don't think that he personally believed a lot of the stuff that maybe he had to walk back to when Tesla put Bitcoin on the balance sheet and said they were going to transact in it. I think the underlying sentiment is still the same for him. Obviously, with Jack Dorsey and his influence with Bitcoin specifically, and then Elon coming in and having a little bit wider array of it. I just think that Twitter is due for a very big shift in culture, and I think it's going to start leading the charge in terms of the mass adoption of all of these things, including NFTs. Obviously, the Hex profile picture, free market cannot say enough good things about. And you know what? That actually reminds me, I do need to go get mine sometime soon.
Oh yeah, you're allowed now because you have an.
I'm allowed. I'm in the club. Yes, I recently switched from an Android user to an iPhone.
No, and I a lot of people complain that Twitter charges, quote unquote, charges $2.99 to get the NFT feature. But while it's a small amount, it's at least some guard against people just absolutely abusing it. You still have to sign up for Twitter Blue. Still got to connect a credit card and pay $2.99. That's a bit of a paper trail. And look, obviously, anybody who's very intent on scamming is always going to go the 9 yards, but it at least is something. So I am happy Twitter did that. I mean, I consider the Elon Musk news to be gigantic. We've talked about it for a few days now. And obviously, I say a lot of crazy things. One of my crazy things has been that I find Doge to be more relevant than Bitcoin. I think Doge will flip Bitcoin one day. I mean, people may be surprised, but I think it's a better cryptocurrency, and I think it's more popular. I think Gen Z, I think millennials, I think they know Doge more than they know Bitcoin. And I do think people will adopt it. And obviously, Elon is King Doge. And it has rallied in response to him joining Twitter. I think we all feel like there's something very big brewing behind the scenes with Elon Musk about how he wants to approach cryptocurrency. He is obviously mired. He is deeply entrenched in the Web 2 world, traditional world, where government and regulation, this is a cat and mouse game. He has a lot of shareholders and boards that he can't just do what he wants. He has to be measured in some sense, but you could tell this guy is ready to do something drastic and extreme in a good way when it comes to crypto and what can be done with it. So,
well, I mean, when Elon walks into a board meeting, it's pretty hard to argue with them too, right? It's look, Elon Musk.
I mean, I would say yes, and then at the same time, boards that you see alliances.
I know it's their duty, but yeah,
if they disagree with something that either the CEO or something's doing, board members get together, form alliance. I mean, there's yes, they allow, and especially if it works, Elon Musk, for all his eccentricities, everything he does works.
Well, that's what I was going to say is love him or hate him. His track record of success is maybe unparalleled. I mean, we're talking like Steve Jobs, we're talking Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos. Like, there's a handful of people where it's just they're just so hyper focused on achieving a result and getting it into that stratosphere. And Elon Musk, I mean, like, let's talk about PayPal, using that money, his own money, to just launch into Solar City, SpaceX, and Tesla at the same time. 3 companies, Tesla being, the largest car company in total, more valuable than every other car company combined, as well as being the CEO of a company that's literally trying to fucking put people on another planet. And, all of this stuff it's wild. So it's really hard to bet against him. And at this point, it's really hard to bet against Twitter, the platform. So,
and look, the moment he makes a mistake, I'm sure it gives his enemies, and look, you have enemies everywhere, even sitting right next to you in a boardroom. And I'm sure it'll give them an opening to try to do something. But sure, as long as your track record is stellar and you continue to do amazing things, he could be kind of as eccentric as he wants, though, he does play ball with the U.S. government, and you have to consider that. So that's just something that, Tesla and Elon have to think about. But Yeah, all very, very bullish news to me. Like I said, that Twitter stock responded extremely positive to the news, and I agreed with it. I think that Elon's going to do a lot there. They just put him on the board. He's obviously now an activist investor in that company, and yeah, I trust the guy as far as these things go.
yeah. Like he's definitely a bit of a cowboy for sure, though. I saw this article pop up, so we're gonna get more into the metaverse here, the NFTs. Ledger, the hardware company, buys land in the sandbox as part of a metaverse push to educate crypto newbies. Now, the first reaction to this article is like, great. Education for new people in this space is of the utmost paramount importance. It is very hard to jump into crypto. Even just a couple of people that I was talking to about NFTs and StarWolves and stuff, in real life, that were kind of curious about it, was like, well, like, how do I get my hands on something like this? And the list of things that you have to get down. Number one is like, are you on Coinbase? No. Well, sign up for that. That's the first way to do it. But then, NFTs, you're talking about wallets, you're talking about hardware wallets, you're talking about connecting it to MetaMask. You got to sign all these like, this is all very overwhelming. If, and we take for granted frequently how long we've been in this space, and clicking that sign button, to do it with caution, to pay attention to what you're signing and what website you're looking. But new people don't have that reaction because they live in a world where the internet kind of just works. And, if you're the unfortunate victim of a scam, you call your bank up or the credit card and say, hey, look, someone in Malta just maxed out my credit card. And they go, oh yeah, that doesn't look like you. And, with the click of the button, everything's reversed. Obviously that's not the case here. And that is very terrifying for new people. Do yourself a favor. If you want to go figure out how wild this shit is, go on Apple, the App Store, click on MetaMask, and go read the reviews. Like, it is wild. And it's not their fault. Regardless, education is going to continue to be hugely important. User interface, user experience has come so far in the last 5 years, but there's still a long way to go, especially to get people into NFTs. Coinbase NFT is going to do a huge job in that as well. But I found this funny because they're opening something up in Sandbox, and the amount of steps that you actually have to get at this point into getting into Sandbox and learning all of this stuff and participate was it was kind of interesting. So a cool way of doing things, but I think that maybe focusing their attention more on that education in a Web 2 sense would be worth it for them.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Now I have to be a parent in the metaverse as well. I could just see it. We got our kid is
I love it.
Some corner of DCL playing with a pastel ape. And you're like, no, it's cool. You grab him by the ear and you got
to bring soda into this, dude.
You're walking by the Kong's Casino and the fucking StarWolves Battle Dome. And he's like, Dad, I just want, like, no, now you got to go to this. Oh,
trying to get to Ledger you.
Ledger. I'm sure that's going to be the funnest square in fucking Sandbox. Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's far away in a cave somewhere. I don't know if they have caves in Sandbox, but
I don't have much more.
I hope it's right next to a gigantic rug, so that like newbies have a very a precarious choice. You either walk into the education land or you walk into Rugland. Rugland discounts for the best care a rug can get.
This episode sponsored by Rugland Discounts. Let's move on.
Everyone in New York is cracking up right now, and people outside of New York have no idea what I'm talking about. That is a local jingle for Pet
Jay Nunez found the New Yorker.
Mm-hmm. Petland discounts, baby.
Ledger giving off mad library
vibes. I have to be a Trezor guy now because just the word Ledger triggers me into seeing Ledger do that weird belly dance in his house that he did. I just can't even, the word Ledger fucking triggers me now.
Do you know what happened with their podcast too? Because they're not doing it anymore.
I don't know. I think they're just bored and they'll be back. It's a consolidation.
Podcast consolidation.
Right, podcast consolidation. They're just moving sideways right now. They'll be back up. It's up only.
It's up only. Yeah. Well, oh no. Well, that's the thing though. Ledger is still doing up only. Kobe's just not on it.
Yeah, I mean, Kobe is out with
I
movie
want the
star.
team.
I mean, this guy's living his best. He's a fucking billionaire. He's dating someone in the entertainment industry. He got the blue check on his neck. Kobe's out living life. He doesn't need this. He pops in every once in a while to fuck with Stats Dart and Gainsey, which is easily the highlight of my. I would just watch. I would watch Kobe just ruin Gainsey's day. Regularly. That's my favorite program. And then
he's probably my favorite crypto personality for sure.
Oh God. Gainsey. Oh, the way Cobain just takes him down.
Good news for the NFT homies, of which I think it's all of you. NFT market rebounds after weak March as Q1 trading tops $12 billion. While volume fell again last month, Opensea daily trading volume is climbing and the market posted a sizable first quarter tally. That's great news. We've said it a bunch of times in this show in specific segments or in categories. We're definitely seeing a lot of volume return. Azuki leading the charge by far in that, but Bored Apes definitely putting in some work too. It definitely feels like we've turned a corner coming out of March. You've said it before, seasonality. I mean, you've been saying this since January. And I got to say, been pretty spot on about it, but it does seem like there's life returning, hanging out in AlphaMint in the Degen dojo, seeing stuff like, oh, Losers Club got a pump. This project got a pump. Oh, this is getting off the ground. We saw Crypto Mori's go on a run yesterday. We're getting there. We are absolutely getting there. People are starting to spend money. We're seeing that trickle down effect come through kind of the ranks. ApeCoin was a good liquidity infusion for the apes. And, a lot of them are still sitting on that. They can choose to sell that, especially if the market starts to pick up and they start to see an opportunity where maybe having that money in NFTs is going to be more productive than it sitting in ApeCoin. And maybe we'll see a rotation in and out of that. But then, of course, the Azuki, not only the Azuki airdrop, which at one point each holder was rewarded with basically 50 if you sell both of those boxes, but Azuki hitting 35 ETH, people that minted that at 1 ETH bought off secondary for 2 ETH. That is in and of itself a huge liquidity infusion, because I got to believe that once you get to that point, a lot of them will sell. That is just an obscene trade, an obscene profit. And you can take that risk that it goes to 100 ETH and that there's going to be more airdrops and more liquidity infusions. But, when you say you started off with a portfolio of 5 ETH and all of a sudden this one single asset is 35, a lot of people, and rightfully, will make that rotation out of the project and then start spreading it out amongst lower things. I think that we're seeing that process happen in real time. Sometimes we expect NFTs that everything happens immediately. It's just like, oh, ApeCoin drops, like, we saw it, and I'm not calling you out, but a lot of people are like, one lemon pump, right? Like it's got to kind of like cascade its way down through the ranks, because Bored Ape holders, they want to load up on the Azukis. They want to load up on the Doodles, the Cool Cats, and stuff like that. The Clone X's, right? And, they can afford to do that, and then that money gets transferred to somebody who chose to sell, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it just kind of falls all the way down through the entire market. That being said, watch for the projects that have continued to be building, that are continually active in communities, because those are the people that will get eyes on the projects as people start to shop around. So volume coming back. It's feeling good. No idea what April has in store, but it's looking decent.
So we talk a lot about when people sell these high-priced NFTs, that money trickles down into the NFT market. Now, I have a friend on Twitter doing a really fabulous analyst report on the NFT industry, and I could give you some preliminary numbers. The first interesting data point out of there was that of the wallets that make sales above 3 ETH, only 10% reinvest that back into the market. I thought that was a very, very
Is that right? I saw you retweet that, and I'm
yeah.
assuming that they're doing good work in
Oh
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
analysis. But
No, but
you think there's a wall there somewhere?
no. Well, here's the thing though. You have to understand. If we took the value of just that 10% that sells over 3 ETH and reinvest, I would bet it's very close to equal, if not more than the 90%. Because what
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, yeah.
so think about it, right? This is just like the casino.
Mhm.
Okay. There's only 250 whales in the world. People don't even, those whales that, casinos send the private jet out for and they fly them in and they get their own private table. And those guys, there's 250 of them in the world. Okay. In the casino business, whales make up 60% of revenue. 60%. Okay, so 200 people are accountable for 60% of your gambling revenue versus the millions of people make up the other 40%.
I knew the stat was
Right.
split like that. I didn't realize that the true
It is
whale
that
count
it's
is
that
that low.
extreme. I'll make this addendum. It was 10 years ago, so who knows what new wealth and the world has happened since then. But
I
I
would say like a lot of the crypto
yeah,
billionaires have
there you go.
maybe even doubled that. Yeah.
Right. But I promise the ratio is roughly the same as far as how few people contribute the majority of revenue to something. And I think it's going to end up I posited the question to him. He thought it was a very good point, and he even said initial indications are that it is a large piece of it. Of course, if you just took that statistic at face, it would be like, oh shit, nobody is reinvesting back into. Everyone's just taking their ETH and running, and and going away with it. I think when the report actually comes out, we will see a clearer story that shows that yes, a lot, maybe even the majority of ETH gets reinvested back into NFTs, but it's by a very small percentage of people. And why is that? Because in these type of game theory situations, money tends to funnel up to the best players. Guys, you're out there playing a game right now. There's certainly a few metas and ways you can approach it, but you're playing a game. And the winners of these games tend to be skilled and money tends to funnel to them. And that's, I think that's really what that statistic is going to end up showing.
Poker is a pyramid scheme, and Phil Ivey sits atop it.
Correct.
Okay, let's move on. Volume coming back, very exciting. And if you were to zoom this chart out, I mean these spikes are mammoth compared to 2021. Looking off the screen, it really ramped up there too. So we're sitting in a healthy spot, approaching some of these numbers and some of that volume. A project that a bunch of people kind of mentioned yesterday, not in this show, but kind of while we were watching all of the StarWolves stuff unfold, was Los Muertos. And I gotta say, and this just full disclosure, I don't really know much about it. I am really just trying to catch up on current events or whatever. But I think I would be remiss if I didn't at least mention how many people were talking about it. Opened it up this morning. I gotta say, getting some Crypto Mori vibes in there. So I hope that what's that asshole's name that goes after everybody that has a skull stays away from this one. But these actually look pretty cool. They got a nice art style, a bit some little tiny details that I'm noticing in the art that is kind of cool, and people have been very excited for these. I'm assuming you haven't seen these yet either. But yeah, 500 ETH volume traded on them. We'll give it a refresh, see what the floor is sitting at right now. But starting off with a pretty strong, unique owner count too.
Yeah, I mean, N Dot is asking, how did these blow up? I mean, honestly, quite frankly, it's bull season, right?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, we haven't seen that like late December, early January mega pump yet, but that's coming. It was just like earlier and mid-December, it built up in this way where all of a sudden there are certain things you're going, whoa, what is that doing? And whoa, look at that one, and blah, 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 and these little things, and then blue chips absolutely mooning, and then eventually everything starts going together. I don't know anything about this beyond beyond some very slight controversy, which again, I can't speak on it too deep, but obviously the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, is a Mexican or South or Central American celebration, and the people who made this project are not Central American. And I think that some people have a problem with that. Beyond that, I don't know much, except this seemed to be sitting out there, not minting. And due to bull market, atmosphere, all of a sudden it started going. It lit up Icy or Moby. It minted out, and now it's on a nice little cook. So I think and look, this is
getting a serious Dented Fields vibe from this one.
Yeah, right. But this is kind of original, kind of different looking. It's not a derivative. And this is bull season. It sits out there. You get enough mints going, and people mint it out and see what they could do. Beyond the slight controversy and that, I don't know too much about it. Did the public go out in 30 seconds? Wow.
Yeah, no, it fucking flew. Yeah. 0.05 sale. Pre-sale was 0.04.
Yeah, people were like, I didn't hear anything about, and I think the allow list sale was slow too, so people didn't expect. It was the same type of thing. Allow list sales slow. People, it's weird. I would almost say allow lists are shyer now than the public in a way. Like it's almost gone the opposite of where before you'd see the allow list go full bar, and then it was like the public could be hesitant. Now you're seeing the opposite. It's a very interesting situation. But yeah, these were kind of the talk of the town yesterday. During the day, it was.
The market dynamics definitely shift, ebb and flow with these allow list dynamics.
That was it, Ndot. That was what someone was saying. Pre-sale was slow and floor was near mint price. I mean, like I said, bull market situation. People are out there. They want to mint. They want to mint things, and as long as it's not like Doodle Zuki, 17, I think people are willing to give stuff a shot right now.
Yeah. Yep. And honestly, that's not dissimilar to the way that STARWOLVEZ went down. Now, when the pre-sale mint was slow, that was by design, but we'll get into that. So yeah, keep an eye out for Los Muertos. I think they look pretty good. But there's clearly some excitement for minting out there. Speaking of mints that went down yesterday, getting some POC vibes here with VaynerSports Pass. This was just an absolute shit show. Watching the STARWOLVEZ mint, all of a sudden saw gas spike up to 4,000 Gwei. It got real spicy in the VaynerSports minting process, and lo and behold, when the dust all settled, thanks to cross.eth, a total of 7,652 ETH, or $26 million, was spent just on gas for failed and successful transactions on the VaynerSports mint. A total of 2,411 ETH, or just over $8 million, was made from the sale. Okay, they burned more than almost 3.5 times the value of the mint just in the gas war that they created. These are people that have the capability of doing things how they want to. And this was a little bit shocking to me because I think that there are just much better ways. People were paying 4 times the mint price to get their hands on it. More than that, already underwater. This was just nonsensical. AJ Vaynerchuk, Gary Vee's little brother, obviously at the helm of this one, and this was just a monumental fuck up. Gary Vee is often a loved and hated person in this industry. AJ Vaynerchuk kind of maybe just tagging along for the ride. I don't know much about him. I got to believe they could have done better than this. Pre-market, you there?
Yeah, it was a pretty...
Oh, no, that's all good, sir.
It was a pretty failed launch, but I think given the track record of Vayner Media and, this is the Vayner name, whether it's Gary or not, and he's not going to let anything with his name on it go too far awry. They're issuing. It was a tragedy, but they're issuing refunds. They have great.
Oh, I didn't say that. That's good.
They have great customer service. They put like 7 interns on Vaynerchuk's account saying, yes, you're all right. It was our, look, this, we've seen this a lot with high profile drops. The thing about high profile drops is that these guys have the money and the reputation to fix it easily. And I think that's what happened today. So again, I like to bet on, I like Gary Vee, and I don't even know him from like watching his hustle videos and all that type of stuff. I honestly only know him from NFTs, and I know he was a big personality before that, but I've always liked what Gary did. People think, he doesn't know what he's doing, that he's a pump and dumper and all that stuff, and it's just absolute nonsense. I mean, anybody with that type of following is going to move markets, and we see that in, traditional markets as well. I think he tries to be careful, but there's only so much you could do. I like Gary Vee.
Yeah, I mean, when he's out in public doing, keynote speeches and interviews and stuff like that, like there is specific things that people want Gary Vee to say, right? Like they want him to do that, like shut the fuck up, get out there, comment 8,000 times on social media, all of that stuff. Like he, that's how he started off his, his wine business, as he likes to talk about all the time and whatnot. When you strip away just that kind of like base layer, because again, like when you're reaching a huge mass audience, you have to appeal to all of them, not just like the top 1% in there, or this, this niche group that is trying to do something very specific. Like his statements are all very blanket. And a lot of people say, well, it's just surface level stuff. And that's exactly right. But that is the market that he is, the market reach that he has. But if you strip some of that away and dig a little bit deeper, he's just somebody that knows where the knows how to skate to where the puck is going to. He is definitely ahead of the curve on a lot of stuff. And if nothing else, the fact that he is incredibly bullish on NFTs is just a good sign, because he sees that is where the market direction is going, right? And that's good for us. So I don't have any problem with Gary Vee either. Sometimes I'll go through these phases where I'll listen to a couple of his podcasts and then I'll turn it off for a month or two. But he's good at like, getting some excitement going too. So, but yeah, this was, I'm glad to hear that they're making this right, but this was definitely the talk of the town a little bit. Dekenza asking, what are the alternatives? Please no more whitelist grinding. Yeah. High profile drops like this, raffles are very equitable, especially when you have a 15,000, 16,000 of these things to divvy out, but you have 200,000 people waiting in line. I'm going to say the really, really dirty word. These guys have the market swag to do a Dutch auction on something like this and let the market sort it out there. And those do have gas wars in and of themselves, but there's a little bit more market discovery, and it's not quite just like link goes down and then everybody that grabs that link is just slamming the button. There's tons of ways to do it, and there will be better ways in the future, I'm sure, than what we can even talk about right now. So, as the market scales up and these drops get bigger, and there's more participants in the marketplace, we're definitely see a shift probably away from the Discord whitelist, allow list kind of stuff.
Yeah. Moonbirds is a 721A. I am going to full send.
That's another thing too. The contract should have been better.
Yeah. And I'm going to full send I'm at 10,000 Gwei for 2.5 ETH there at the Kenza. Yes. There are just something, obviously this is a completely different thing than Azuki, but I feel the same way that I think AlphaMint did before the Azuki drop. We had been talking about it for 24 hours, maybe a little longer. And while there was a lot of debate, because we hadn't even seen the run of Dutch auctions yet, when Azuki had done this, I feel like the last big Dutch auction before that was CloneX, and people had a pretty bad taste in their mouth from CloneX. So, I just think that Moonbirds feel like that automatic, it has to. I would definitely full send a 2.5 if you have the ability to do it. and I would not be scared about getting Vaynerchuked here because it's a 721A. So, it's going to be a raffle now. Full raffle. Wow. Well, hey, here's the thing. These guys don't need. Yeah, look, I'm with you, this is one of there are certain ones where it's like, I kind of wanted to go to war here. I don't even mint a lot. I am being so choosy about what I mint now, so choosy. But there are just certain things. It was how I felt about Azuki that day. It's how I feel about Moonbirds now. I just that's yeah. So we'll say, is the raffle open? I entered the one for pre-mint because they were giving away 3 of them. I wonder, is it a different one or do we have to? Does that one count as answer? We'll have to go look.
Yeah, well, based on it, it sounds like they're moving in that direction. So I would imagine that there will probably be more of a look. There's serious financial damage that these bigger brands that you can point at and say you should have known better face. Because VaynerSports, it sounds like the $8 million that they've just raised, which maybe in the grand scheme of things isn't actually a lot of money to them, is going right back into reparations for all of the gas that was burned and then some. So the financial risk of blowing it in this sense is pretty high, but the reputational risk also exists too. So in a Kevin Rose led project with 2 million followers and stuff like that, you don't really want to necessarily have eyes on the fact that, you destroyed $26 million in value or anything like that, because it does sit on top of your persona. And that's why raffles, as much as I'm not gas war adverse and I've participated in them and I don't mind them, I understand why the fees exist and I understand what's going on there. I just think that you're going to just see these big entities have to move away from them because there's too many eyes on how this all goes down now.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. It was a stupid surprise drop, right? It's that peak FOMO. My God, I have to get this now. All right, we got about 15 minutes left, and I know I told you that we were going to proceed with the show as normal. Obviously, the biggest thing in our lives in our world right now was the STARWOLVEZ mint. And I just want to take a moment to thank everybody that was supporting this project all along the ways. Many months in the making. So many great friends made along the way. And I'm so proud of everything that transpired. We talked about the allow list meta maybe taking a little bit of a turn and things moving slow. There were a lot of people saying that about the STARWOLVEZ mint, and I can't argue with that. But again, we put out the mint process about 4 days before, and it was always from the get-go by design, 12 hours for each round. Give people the time to get in there so you're not creating FOMO, you're not creating fake hype, and doing all that stuff. And, heading into the public mint, I think we had about 3,500 of them minted. A lot of people max minted. They took us up on the offer. They got there. There were definitely some people that didn't, and that's fine too. That, you have that loss rate in any allow list that you do. But, watching it, the encouraging thing for me the whole time was, secondary didn't really come alive until the floor started getting down around 0.1 ETH. Which is obviously just above mint price. But there were tons of people there to catch it around there. And, the argument is why, knowing and publicly saying that there was always going to be a public mint and, blockchain is transparent. You can see how many are left, knowing that there were going to be multiple thousands of them. Not many people going to pay 0.2 ETH, 0.3 ETH, 0.9 ETH, some of these pre-reveals or allow lists get up to. And that was fine. Again, we just wanted everybody to have a pretty fair shot in their rounds to do so. Once public mint went live, as I mentioned in the pre-show there, Free Market and I were hosting a spaces, and it just took off, and the tools lit up like Christmas. It was off to the races, and in under 5 minutes, the remaining 4,500 STARWOLVEZ sold. And it was just all in all an incredible experience. The most incredible thing to me through this entire thing was how positive the community was internally in that Discord, because not only were people positive about how that whole process was going down and really, really receptive to doing things a different way, but even the people that were coming in there and be like, what's going on with this? Is this going down in flames? Which there were some people engaged them in really, really reasonable conversation. And they too were like, oh, that makes total sense. Like, thank you. So the word community gets used a lot. I am so proud of this community because it was so fun to watch it in action yesterday. And now it's and now, you know, we have we're one rung up the ladder a bit further. Free market. You were with me almost the whole time. You had some tacos in preparation for it. Taco Tuesday. And now here we are on the other side of the mint. You want to riff on that a little bit? Your feelings, your thoughts about it?
It's been incredibly humbling, and every step along the way, as people have received STARWOLVEZ, whether it was with the initial videos, with the Twitter, with the eventual Discord and the game in the Discord opening, every time that we got the reception that we did from you guys, and you told us, you know, how it was going and all that good stuff, it motivated us even more.
100%.
And it continues to do that. And yesterday, after seeing how you guys supported us, I've never been more motivated, and I can promise we won't let you down. So I just want to say thank you to everybody out there. And a gigantic, huge special thank you to the Kaiju King. I can't say enough about how much I love that community and their support. And coming out yesterday meant the world to me. So thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you know, we were always confident in this process and how it was going to go down, but that 5-minute period really, I think, just blew all of our minds, you know, in our team chat. I think everybody was, what's up, Rip? What's going on? And the cap I did have made, but there is a AlphaMint store. I'll post a link to that. Sorry, I got sidetracked. I think we were really kind of in awe and taken aback by that, because I honestly, based on how we staggered things out and how it all went down, I wouldn't have been overly surprised to see us still minting this morning, and it wouldn't have bothered me either. Of course, for my own, you know, stress level and anxiety level while you're watching it all go down, it was nice to just get it all wrapped up then and there, because I slept like a baby. But now we're here. We're woke up in the morning and said time to get back to work. And we're so excited for the next steps. Reveal is it's on its way. Not happening today, but you know, working very diligently to make sure that you know, that roughly 48-hour timeline that Charlie had kind of mentioned in the AMA is within reach. But you know, we are. We're dedicated to this for the long term. And, you know, I said it yesterday. I hope that in 10 years, it's not something we're looking back on and be like, wow, that was a great success and we killed it. Like in 10 years, I hope it's something that we're still working on. We're still building and we're still developing and still growing. And, you know, that has always been the goal here. So. To all the wolves out there, I'm not gonna howl this morning. I'm sure my neighbors are getting pissed off at me. Yeah, there it is. Thank you. It's my dog will get so pissed off. He's so annoyed with me in the last few days. But God, what a wild ride. I just want to say again in a public setting. Of course, we've already exchanged them, but congratulations to Charlie. Congratulations to NVO, to Scott, to Ape Season, to yourself, FMC, the mod team, who is just, I mean, stellar. Poppy, Crazy Swimmer, Dirty Milk, the Genesis Wolves, you know, getting their Genesis out there in the in the previous few months. That was a slow process in and of itself, and it was so fun to watch that community flourish and grow and accept new members into it. Man, it really just feels like a culmination of emotions, and it was amazing. But we got to work on that game now. We've been talking about the game. People have been trying to get hints, sneak peeks, all of this stuff. It's being worked on. We're doing it. So yeah, just so excited to be here.
So huge shout out to the team. R2 just named them. I don't want to forget anyone's name, but man, love you guys.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this. I hope people probably maybe thinking we were going to do a whole StarWolves show or whatever, but like I said, there's so much more to come. This is not just we did it, we're finished, right? Like the reveal is probably the next big thing that we're going to want to talk about. We're going to want to celebrate. We're going to want to see everybody's wolves that pop out of those gorgeous looking pre-reveal NFTs that you have right now, and that is a very, very, very exciting thing for me. As we've said a couple times over the past few days, looking at what the generative results were across the board, like they're looking spiffy, guys. So that is hugely exciting, and you will not have to wait a super long time for that. We're getting that.
Yeah, Edgar, this StarWolves is our project. R2 is one of the artists. I founded it along with Charlie and NVO, and we have a great team over there. And thank you, Edgar. It means a lot. We are so excited. So.
Yeah, same with Belundi, Press, all you guys, Rips, like everybody that jumped in there to show some love, some support, and hey, even if you're low liquidity and you didn't even have the liquidity to purchase one, like your support and the stuff, the kind words that we've received along the way and everything, is honestly more than enough. How you choose to support is always greatly appreciated. And I'm going to say this because there were a lot of people in the pack chat, and it's not exclusive to StarWolves in any way, shape, or form. But you should never feel obligated to overextend yourself in a project, even if you have conviction in it, you have belief in it, you have love for it. Supporting it in that way as being a part of the community, and even just say you're on a allow list and you had 3 that you could, but realistically you should only be buying 1. Like, it is incredibly thrilling to think that anybody would want to spend their hard-earned ETH on a project that you've created. And if you're in a Discord where you are feeling pressure to max mint, or feeling FOMO to spend money that you're not sure if you should be, I'm just gonna say, like, it can be better than that. There are better ways, right? So
it gets better, kid.
It gets better. Guys, I think on that note, like, we do still have a ton of stuff to do. I know Free Market's still doing the morning squeezes like he does every morning, and so he's got to get ready for that, and maybe we'll jump into some spaces later on this afternoon and talk some more StarWolves on Twitter. I'm getting the Twitter bug, man. Getting the Twitter bug. Free Market, anything else you want to touch on?
No.
Very succinct. All right, let's wrap this up. Sorry we didn't get to the to any like Q&A or posting link out there today. As I mentioned, I was running a little bit late, and then we had technical difficulties. So we had about 15-20 minutes lopped off of the show there. But crypto going on a little bit of a downward spiral, but still consolidation. We talked a lot about the supply constraints that are coming. Bitcoin is moving off of exchanges. Free Market did a great job of running through the market hype cycles and the mania phase and all of that stuff. Very very informative and very important because you know, as he said, it's kind of the nature of the universe. Really talked again a little bit about Elon. Very bullish news for Twitter. NFT market is seeing some volume return, and that's very bullish for all of us. In this chat, Los Muertos dropped yesterday. A lot of excitement around that. VaynerSports burned a shitload of ETH, but you know, the miners, thank them very much. And then of course we've wrapped it up with the StarWolves chat. So to everybody out there, thank you. This has been a roller coaster. It's been a long time coming, and you guys, so many of you have been along for the ride this entire time. So we appreciate that very much. Free market, get us out of here.
Good luck at the tables, D-Gen.